I want to make sure the audio is okay. It looks like I can see the sound that's coming through. I just want to confirm from other people. Make sure you hit the like button. Also, check out the link in the chat for BTCC if you guys want to sign up for that platform. It is truly a great platform. Um, I think recently I did get liquidated on a position, but we'll see how that's working out. And I think Jasmine Coin's at a very low now, so put that here. We'll pin this, and let's see. All right, how's everybody doing today? We got 33 people that are here. Let me know what's going on in your portfolios, what's going on in your life right now. I know it's been maybe like a few days. Went through the weekend. The weekend was pretty busy. I'm all by myself this weekend. Um, no wife, so um, have to go through all the kids stuff, and we had practice and everything. It was great. Yesterday was great, and we have another basketball practice, the first official basketball practice this year. So should be good. Yo, Dreams 5776. What's going on? Well, who was right, buddy? I mean, nobody. What do you mean, who was right? Do you understand how investments work? Like, does anybody understand how investments work? Jasmine Coin was once, or a lot of other things, were once at higher prices. They go to lower prices and then they break those highs. Um, Patience. I've said this. Patience is key. If you are not patient, you're not going to make money in the markets, right? I'm as patient as they come, and I think there's a bunch of people that are as well, but obviously you aren't. It's all about the now. It's all about what's right in front of your face, not what's going to happen in the next month, 2 months, 10 months, year, 2 years, right? um, Especially if you truly believe in something. And if you are eventually right, and I sell my position for lower than what I got it for, I will say that you're right. I will look up Dreams 5776 and say, yeah, you're right. Down 99.7%. People don't understand. Well, you don't understand the factor of dilution, but it's cool. Hey Matt, do you think this is the start of the bear market? I don't. I don't think it's the start of the bear market. I think we have a lot of bearish activity, and this bearish activity usually is to weed out a lot of the people that aren't patient, people that don't believe in or didn't ever believe in crypto. They just wanted to be a part of the gains that they saw in Bitcoin, or even the gains that they saw previous bull runs. Right? You don't understand that while we're waiting around, while we're I guess things are starting to come back a little bit. It looks a little bit positive in the market, not for Bitcoin, but for a lot of other things. So interesting. Um, but either way, dreams when it does hit 50 cents, you're not going to be here. You're not going to put your face out there and say, "Oh, you know what? I was wrong." And many people don't, right? When I talked about XRP and when I was at a level of 30 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents, and many people said the same thing you're saying right now is that it's all over and it will go to zero and it's just not going to be worth it. It's not going to get to these prices. It won't break $100 billion market cap, $200 billion market cap, all of that. A lot of those people have never shown their faces again around these live streams, have never shown their faces again or names in my comment section. It's just how it goes. So no matter what, you, when that does happen, you're not going to be around to say, hey, I'm right. However, I'm still going to preach it to the heavens. You're going to know deep down in your soul, right? You're going to watch the video and you're not going to comment because you know that you're going to be wrong. And you're going to go, ah, man, he's talking directly to me. And for sure I am. So just wait. Patience. Patience. It's going to be fun. It's going to be so fun. So no, I don't think it's the start of the bear market. I think this is where people do get anybody that's impatient, anybody that doesn't or didn't believe in the crypto market and is only getting it just for what could have been the gains without trying to understand it. Um, those people will get weeded out. And then you'll have the influx of institutional volume. You'll have the all encompassing ETFs that invest into the entire or broader crypto market. You'll have massive use cases across the board when it comes to banks, cross border payments, whatever that the case may be. And many people will say the same thing. I wish I would have stayed in crypto, or I wish I would have gotten into crypto when I saw people talking about it. You know what I mean? So that's the way that I'm feeling, right? I'm still holding hundreds of thousands of dollars of cryptocurrency because I believe in it. It went from crypto being a lower percentage of my portfolio, my overall portfolio, right? It went from crypto being like less than 10% of what I'm holding in my entire retirement portfolio, my short-term stock investments, my dividend account investments, right? Whatever it is, it went from being 10%, not necessarily just from adding crypto or adding money into the crypto market. It was from growth, mainly a lot from Jasmine Coin, a lot from XRP, a lot from CRO, and I'm able to grow that from $50,000 to hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that's just because of what the crypto market was able to do in the short term without seeing altcoin season hit. Wait until we do. If they think that a $3 or $4 trillion market cap is the peak, they're in for a rude awakening, because we're going to see tens of trillions of dollars for the crypto market in general, right? It's going to be great. That's my feeling. Again, this is not guaranteed on your side. This is guaranteed on my side. I believe that this is going to happen. Do I know the exact time frame? No, because we've never experienced the crypto market the way it is today. Every single bull market that we have is a different bull market, is a new experience to that bull market, is a higher market cap, is uncharted waters, right? This is what we expect from a speculative market, right? From a market that's not traditional. You want to see where it fits in, and then once it fits into a place, boy, do you see it grow. I told everyone to sell. The Jasmine devs have been dumping for years. We've seen coins that have been added, but that hasn't been the case. Matt, you are a special man. Thanks for what you do, brother. Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. Jasmine coin is going to be 50 cents by the end of this year. By the end of this year, I don't know about that. Would love to see it, but I don't know about that, right? I'm not saying that is the end all be all for this year, right? I'm not looking for the short term play. If it happens, it happens. It's great. My exit plan prices start to get hit. But I'm pushing for more of a longer term, right? If I'm saying, oh, this is going to happen this year, then many other people are going to go, well, I need it to happen this year, right? You shouldn't need it to happen at any time. Anytime you want to look out a year, 2 years from now and say, I can still be patient at that point. However, we want to see it happen a lot earlier than that, because the traditional, cycle, we're looking at 4 year cycle, right? So we really only have a select amount of time to see that altcoin season flourish. Thoughts about Toshi? I really don't have any thoughts on Toshi at the moment. Just HODL, what you think with all the ETFs for XRP are coming. Wait, sorry. Just HODL, what you think with all the ETFs for XRP are coming. So, what do I think about all of the ETFs that are coming for XRP? I think it's great. I've said this plenty of times, though. I am a bigger fan of all-encompassing ETFs, of ETFs that invest into the broader market. Because if you want that traditional mindset to flow into the crypto market, you need to have traditionalist ETFs, which is investing into a broader market. You don't invest into ETFs to invest in a single position, because then you would just invest into Tesla or invest into Microsoft. You invest into ETFs to be a part of something that you have no access to. So you would have you would invest directly into XRP without having a Coinbase account or anything like that, even though like Fidelity is allowing you to buy into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and they may offer others. But when it comes to trying to just invest into crypto, like many people ask me all the time, they're like, I want to get into crypto. What should I get into? I would love to say, hey, this tracks the entire market. Just invest into this if you don't understand. Then you could do your research afterwards. Anytime I give people advice on, a retirement account and understanding what to start investing with in the stock market, it's always about ETFs, right? Understanding that you're investing into the broader market, understand what an ETF is, the slow moving growth, see the success, and then you can branch out to single positions, single businesses that you feel are going to blow up or going to grow over time. I can't do that with the crypto market because we only have one all-encompassing ETF, which is a crypto 5 ETF that I've now started to kind of recommend and let people know. GDLC is that one to go to invest into the top 5 cryptocurrencies in the market. And then you can move forward from there and kind of do your research to invest it directly into single positions or directly own your cryptocurrencies. So I think it's great for the ETFs. It's a step forward. Definitely a step forward in the belief for XRP itself. But I think for the success of crypto and how that can be accelerated would be more of an all-encompassing ETF. Guys, we have 76 people that are here. If you can hit the like button, I would greatly appreciate it. Get me to 35, 40 likes. That would be amazing. I'm going to put out a poll real quick. There we go. Also, if you guys want to check out my link for BTCC, this platform is a great platform. If you specifically use my link, you'll get a 10% deposit bonus, extra bonuses up to $10,055. Enjoy 40% lower trading fees. There were 3 winners that already won this giveaway, which was amazing. I do have the actual code names. If you were one of the people that won and you were in the chat here today, let me know. But there were 3 people that signed up, that deposited, that traded, that won 500 USDT. They've done this giveaway 3 times. And congratulations to all of the winners that have won 500 USDT. That's a free $500 basically that you could trade with, make your moves with. If you wanted to short the market, you could. If you wanted to long the market, buy 5x, 10x, whatever it is, you could do that as well. So yeah, congratulations to that. But if you want to sign up and utilize the platform, the link is in the chat. It's at the top of the chat. It's also in the description. I'm sure they're going to do more giveaways as the time goes on, but you are going to get 10% deposit bonus in the meantime for your first time deposit. And you can have extra bonuses depending on different thresholds and milestones that you hit. So feel free to check out that link down below. Now, if we look at the market, the current crypto market sits at a $3.19 trillion market cap. I don't think this water over here is even opened. Yeah, I just cracked the top. It wasn't even open. I'm gonna drink this one. Yeah, we're sitting at a $3.19 trillion market cap. Bitcoin is slightly down on the day. XRP though is up by 2.2%. You can see that Solana is up by about 1% if we round up. BNB is down by 1%, 1.29%. You can see that Solana over the last 7 days is down 14%, more than anything that we see here. Cardano down by 16%. That's a steal of a price. I really do believe that. I think my cost basis is higher than that. It might be somewhere around 60, I want to say. But yeah, that's a steal of a price. It's down 16% in the last 7 days at a $17 billion market cap, 48 or 49 cent price. Yeah, that's good. That's a good price. Chainlink is at $14, down by 13% over the last 7 days. 17% for XLM, down to 25 cents or an $8 billion market cap. Litecoin down by 11% in the last 7 days or 6% today, down below the $100 price point, $96 at the moment. Avalanche is down by 1%. That's at a $15 price point. That is again, steal of a price. I think that's well below my cost basis. I should probably. Oh, give me a second. Let me think. There are so many good prices right now, especially with the fact that altcoin season, it just hasn't happened yet. Yeah, my cost basis is $25. I'm a full 10 cents below. Right now, the price is 10 cents below my cost basis. Especially after seeing Avalanche reach up to the 20s, to the 30s, to the 40s, and then back down to $15. That is a huge steal of a price. I could potentially get 1,000. Could I do that? Let me check. Let me check my bank account really quick, because I know I like to throw money in directly into my long-term investments. And if I'm throwing money directly into my long-term investments, let me move this over here so I don't have that up, just in case. Yeah, so that's a solid. I still gotta pay my credit card there. So I like to make sure that I'm throwing any extra money directly into my retirement accounts, my dividend accounts as well. I should have about $2,000 every month that gets invested in my dividend account after I max out my traditional IRA. I'm going to max that out every year and go through that and see where that stands and how that has grown over time and what I've invested money into over time as well. Um, but yeah, let me see. So I think that'll work. Let me check how much is in here. Tokens? I'm in the wrong network. I was gonna say, why is it showing I'm in the wrong network here? Let's switch networks. Can we just do all networks? I want to just do. It's not letting me switch my network for some reason. Uh, yeah, it's not letting me switch my network for some reason. I don't know. I feel like there's. Come on, Solana. Hmm. Something's going on. Give me a second. All right, there we go. I don't know why it's not letting me switch my network on Chrome, but it's popping up on my phone. So a little worried about that sometimes. When you have a wallet and you connect your wallet to different places, always worries you, always worries me. I try to make sure I manage that well, but you never know. Any mistake can happen. But let me go over here. Let me see how this is running. If I wanted to do it, not USD, I want to do it to USDT. AVAX. Because I was looking at Jasmine Coin too, and I was like, I could, because I have extra money right now that's supposed to go directly into my bank account to then get transferred into my, um, you know, dividend account. Actually, since I'm only doing 2,000 a month, I was going to do it somewhere else. So this is not a bad idea if I decided to do it, especially with low prices, where we stand here today. um, if I wanted to max it out right now, that would get me, it's not even telling me. Um, is it saying that would only get me 273 AVAX? Or no? Oh, wait. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That doesn't make sense. Currently, the AVAX that I have, um, AVAX that I have is worth $6,000. Let me see. Yeah, $6,700. So if I decided to take the 4,000 that I had now, I can get a good amount extra AVAX if I wanted to. I could also go into, uh, let's see where Cardano is, because I have, how much Cardano do I have? Where is it? ADA, there it is. I have $4,000 worth of Cardano sitting at an average price. My entry price is 33 cents. So if I did buy into it now, I would raise my cost basis. So I probably won't do that. The current price for Kronos, though, is less than 10 cents. It's at 9.5 cents, which it says my average entry price is, oh no, wait, where's the price of Kronos? That's not right. That's my entry price. Oh, Kronos is at 11 cents, so it hasn't really fallen down too much. Okay. But I think probably if I was going to make a move, it would be either AVAX or Jasmy. And I think Jasmy coin right now is sitting at about 80% of a penny. Yeah, 83% of a penny. Which means that if I bought some Jasmy coin right now with the amount that I have, I would most likely be able to get another 500,000 Jasmy if I wanted to right now. And then, yeah, almost 500,000 Jasmy. But that's throwing everything that you have there. And what I would do is probably be a little bit more short term with that and then treat the million that I have also as more longer term rather than um, taking my profit at these like low levels. You know what I mean? Actually having a chance to become a Jasmy coin millionaire. Anyways, let's see what people are saying. Sorry, I'm like going off into a rant. What are you doing? What are you chewing on? You chewing on plastic? Can you not do that? um. Anyways, let's see. I'm gonna scroll up. Did you predict that Jasmy will go down this low? I didn't believe Jasmy coin would go down this low. No, I didn't believe that we would see it um, break past that 1 cent mark, just because of how strong it is. But anything could happen, especially with the things that we've seen that happen in the market recently. Um, it's not just Jasmy coin, right? Things are hitting crazy lows that we didn't expect. Now they're not the lowest prices we've ever seen. Some might be, but most of them are not. They're just low prices, especially for actually being in a bear market. How's XRP a good buy? Look at the same price since 2017. um, so XRP one added supply over that time, right? Um, if you look back in 2017, right, you hit a $3 price point, got all the way down to these low prices. The reason why it was a good buy is because you're buying it at the low. If you don't understand markets, if you don't understand investing, then just say that. Because as you invest into something, if you buy it at a low point and you sell it or have it at a higher point, it is deemed a good investment, right? No matter what it is, right? It could be the exact same price. If you bought it here and it is now here, that's a good investment, right? And then as you see the conversation that's happening, as you see more potential use cases, more places, more partnerships, all of those things, it then becomes a great investment. And after that, it can become a absolutely fantastic investment. So over time, you'll see that transition from if you bought at the low point, it's a good investment. If you bought it even $1 price point, it's still a good investment. And then as you move along, you can say today, it's not a good investment to buy here, but then 5 years later, the person that did buy there, they will say it was a good investment, right? So you have like this short term mindset, this mindset that where it's like I only see what's happening in front of my face, and um, that's not an attitude for success at all. I've been able to have success in my life because I'm trying to understand all the negative things, all the bad things that can happen, but also give things a chance and invest a traditional way in a not traditional market. Does that make sense? I don't know how much success you've had in your life, and you can tell me, right? You're you're talking to me, and maybe even arguing back and forth on YouTube with someone that has and still has success. It has had and also still has success in crypto, in the stock market, in day trading, in swing trading, in my retirement accounts, in business, schooling. I've had success and been able to have experience in so many places. And the reason why I've been able to have that is because of the patience, I would say, that I have. I've been able to develop that patience over time, especially as someone that went from a day trader that thought with a short term mindset, get rid of the position before the end of the day, to swing trader, oh, you can hold this for a couple of days, maybe even a week, to a long term investor. If I decided to put $10 a day into an account or $100 a week into a into an ETF, let's say the SPY, and it gained me 10% per year, I would be able to gain $1 million by 30 years. Like that's the type of mindset you also want to have while having the short term mindset, while also being able to understand the middle ground of things and being able to take some of that money that you make from that middle ground to then fund your longer term retirement accounts. That's kind of where I stand and what I've been doing. Now, while we do have a problem with overspending, because if those, or not if, when those Black Cat Jordan 4s come out this month, I'm getting them. Well, I'm going to try and get them, hopefully. Because if they sell out, they immediately get listed for like hundreds above MSRP. It's insane. Um, so yeah, but I do, while we look at that, it's not that much of a spending problem to where it eats into any of the money that we have there. Now, I wish it wasn't, but I do love shoes, basketball shoes to be specific. I only play basketball once a week, sometimes not even that. And I just love the look and feel of basketball. They're just so comfortable, especially we coach basketball. Use case doesn't matter anymore. Meme coins are taking over. I don't think that's true. Not even close. I think meme coins are always going to have a place in the market, but I do think we're going to see a utility bull run, which will be massive. I'm right here, started 4 years ago, still holding. I'm taking advantage of my coins and tokens um, taking a turn on a clearance rack. Yeah, I hear you. Have you been keeping an eye on oil? I haven't. The reverse carry trade is starting to look very real. Thoughts? I have no thoughts on that. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not going to be honest. Or I am going to be honest. I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be honest. No, I'll be honest with you. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not a big fan of oil, of even tracking gold and silver and all of that. And once there was once a time where I wasn't a fan of cryptocurrency. I'll be honest with that. Just because as somebody that was into the market, that was, markets that were speculative or different positions that were speculative when I was day trading, as I moved into a more traditional mindset, I started to keep my eyes open for cryptocurrency. However, how I got started in cryptocurrency was definitely not more of a traditional mindset. It was like, let me invest into a meme coin, made money from a meme coin. I was like, let me explore crypto a little bit more, right? Um, Just go at 190K market cap, absolutely discount. I mean, I don't even know what that is, but that's really low. I would not take a risk on something like that. I think CRO will spike out of nowhere soon and surprise us all. I don't disagree with you. I think any of these positions that have once seen those levels of gains can experience them again and will experience them again. CRO, I'll stop it. That's yours. That's your thoughts, right? I'm not. However you feel about cryptocurrency, I mean, whatever you think you're going to invest into and make money from, I won't say no, you won't. Um, but I will, critique it in a way, whether I believe it's going to run or not. There's a lot of things in the market that will. So there's a low chance of you mentioning something and me going, oh, that's absolutely dumb or an asinine statement. I mean, I'm not going to say that. What you're saying in most cases and how you're denying the fact that CRO or Jasmy Coin or XRP or whatever is going to run um, is ridiculous, right? Do you get paid to talk about Jasmy, XRP, and CRO? I don't. I wish I did. I do. Well, I should have a video at some point. It's coming out for crypto.com because for how much I talk about CRO, I would love to get paid from them constantly. Like I would love to be a person that talks about the different things that they have coming. Would love that. But no, I don't get paid from them. I really, really wish I did though, because if I truly believe in something, I'm gonna try and reach out to that team or business to kind of do a partnership or something, right? I believe in it. I want to talk about it more, and I want to be, paid accordingly as you're getting the recognition from videos and stuff like that. Would love to be paid from it, but no, I don't. Um, what's a good entry for XRP? Do you have a limit buy order? If so, where's your buy limit prices? So I don't have one, right? I already have a lot of XRP in my possession, and I don't plan on buying any more. All the XRP that I have was set at a low price of $1.22 is my cost basis. My original cost basis was 39 cents, and then for the longest time I was at 52 cents, and then it broke out to, I think it was like $1.50 or $1.60 or whatever, and I decided to put more money, a lot of money in there to get me another 100,000 XRP. I never like to talk about how many coins I have because some people don't like it, but I have a good amount that I don't need to have any type of buy limit orders. I would definitely look for what you can consider a low price. Even at these prices, what I look for, sorry, when I am investing, what I do look for is whether we have a good distance from the all-time high or whether we have a good distance from the recent high. Right? If you see a recent high of $3.60, a good price would be anywhere below $2.50. Right? You give yourself a good cushion so that you get to the all-time high, you're making a boatload of money. Right? That if it's lower than that, $2.20, $2, or even lower than that, you're getting a steal of a price. Especially if you believe that it's going to be worth a lot more. And it's all about your belief. My belief can only take you so far until we see some lower prices, and you never believed that it was going to get to these prices in the first place. So then you end up selling because you didn't come up with that belief yourself. You didn't give yourself a reason to hold it while it drops down to a $2 price point or a $1.50 price point. Even if it drops down to $1 price point or breaks $1 again, I probably would then buy more. That would probably only be the only instance to where I do buy more. If it goes lower than my cost basis, yes, for sure. But again, like I said with Jasmy Coin, I don't expect that to happen. Jasmy Coin, which is on the screen, my cost basis for Jasmy is 40% of a penny. It currently sits at 83% of a penny. I don't expect it to come down to 40% of a penny, But if it does, then that's where I will buy another million, and I'll have this 4,000 set on the side to purchase more Jasmine coin, because I do believe in where this is going and how far it's going to pick up when we see altcoin season happen. But again, that's just my opinion, and it's also what I want to see, what I'm looking for. You can have your own opinion that takes you far. Does that make sense? Everybody should have their own investment style. Matt, I'm on a quick break. Check out Fear Index 17. I just sold my car to my colleague. I'm buying everything as soon as I'm back home tonight. Uh, you just sold your car to your colleague. Um, the Fear and Index is at 17. Is that what you're saying? The overall? Yeah. I mean, when we're in fear, you get greedy, right? That's Warren Buffett's strategy 101, right? Be fearful while others are greedy, and be greedy while others are fearful. And the fear index is at 17. I won't tell you what to do. I don't recommend selling your car or selling your house to be able to afford cryptocurrency. I'm not saying that was the case. Maybe you just sold it and it was just something you mentioned that I sold. Now I have extra money and I'm going to put it here. Um, but whatever you see as a good investment, make that investment. Make sure it's responsible though. Jasmine at 20 cents. Let's go. I made XRP ETFs. Didn't pump XRP. I mean, it's still big for XRP. It shows trust. It shows belief. Um, it shows that now you have a traditional side, especially if you have money that's flowing into there. I don't know what the inflows are for XRP ETFs, but um, I expect the all-encompassing ETFs, the broader market ETFs, they have a bigger impact on the market. More on the fact that they're stabilizing the market, and the more ETFs we have, the more stable it is. Because that traditionalist mindset is not to buy an ETF and sell it immediately. It's to buy an ETF, hold for a while. As it does drop low, you continue to buy more, right? And you make it more of a long-term mindset rather than that short-term mindset that many people have with crypto. Get in, get out, right? um, Franklin Templeton's uh, UZRP ETF launching November 18th is expected to attract significant institutional inflows and may eventually challenge XRP for the top spot. SHIB will get an ETF. I hope not. But anyways, like I said, if we have a broader market ETF, it involves a lot of the top cryptocurrencies. If they do a top 100 crypto ETF, that would be amazing, because that would be 99% of the overall market cap of the market itself. Because the top 5 crypto that I invest into, right? If I go over to my this portfolio and I type in GDLC, the Grayscale CoinDesk Crypto 5 ETF, this is at a very low point compared to where it was. I think my cost basis is like 50 cents. So it's really, really low. Like, you look at how much this has dropped. It's $13 down or 23% down. And I think that's a steal for this, because, again, crypto is a speculative market and it's investing into the five top five cryptocurrencies in the market, which is 80%, over 80% of the market. Um, and it's tracking that, right? Yes, people still have to also invest into that or put their money into this. It is a grayscale ETF, so I expect it to have more traction. I just don't know what the volume and what the movement is. But over time, down $13. The overall market is down by a significant amount. This gives you an entry point into a broader market hold. And that's why I hold for my retirement account for GDLC. I hold $4,000, which is down by 14%. I'll take it. It's a investment over time. It's not something where you're looking at it now and you're like, this is a terrible investment. No. If I understand crypto and I believe in crypto, it's more than an amazing investment. It's a fantastic investment that we will see flourish in years to come. Yes, we will also see the downsides of it. And when we do see that, I'll take that time to invest more money into it and believe in the overall market because again, they're tracking the top 5 cryptocurrencies in the market, which make up 80% of the market. So I'm excited for that. Meme coins here to stay. I don't disagree with you. I think they're gonna be here. It's just will they have as much of an impact as they do now? I think they will have a decent impact, but I think you will have others like the utility projects that grow by so much that it will minimize the impact that meme coins have. And meme coins will be looked at as more like the penny stock market, even though I think it's not going to be as manipulated, especially with the top meme coins, rather than looking at the bottom meme coins. Any truth about Jasmine Coin hitting $17? So that's something where I don't necessarily see, but I wouldn't count it out because with a lockup or decrease in the supply, you could potentially see those levels for Jasmine. However, I'm not banking on that. What I'm banking on is the fact that they're going to have that 50 billion coin supply and they're going to get to a $50 billion market cap, and getting to a level of $1 or $1.50 is kind of that level that I'm accepting. However, during the process, as we get up to a level of $1, I will have exit points, right? So if we see things change in the plan, if we see that those things aren't fully fulfilled, I still will have profit as we move along to then, um, just accept profit. But then long term, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever they decide to do within that time frame, it could be game changing. And you could see that supply decrease and you could get the $17. And if you do, I have a certain amount that's sitting on the side that could potentially make me a Jasmine Coin millionaire just from that potential. But I'm not banking on it. So is there truth to it? There may be some truth to that happening. I just don't see that with the current levels that we're at. Does that make sense? With the current supply levels that we have. Jasmine at 20 cents. Jasmine Coin is dead. That's what you're saying. I'm going to skip a little bit. Lower lows. You're saying that Jasmine is dead, is what tells me we've touched the floor. I mean, we're definitely getting there. When people start really questioning, like either changing their mindset or coming out and going, hey, Jasmine Coin is dead, it's going to zero, it's the worst thing ever, all that stuff, you then see Jasmine Coin break out, and then all of those people go away. Um, and then they just keep going. Some people that stay around, they'll go, well, you know what? It's not getting to the levels that you said, or they'll just keep saying negative things as more positive stuff is happening. It's kind of crazy. Jasmine was dead at 7 cents, 5 cents, all the prices. What? Uh, Crypto chess. I wish I still had your enthusiasm. Crypto chess. I don't hold Jasmine, but I have enthusiasm. Yeah. With the new technology coming out, new junction, how do you feel that's going to affect the price of Jasmine? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that with the new technology that's coming out. I may be in the dark when it comes to that. What is the new technology? Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about Quant? I like Quant. I've had Quant in the past, but I just I've never reinvested into Quant because I missed my price target. So I just stopped um, honestly talking about it and um, looking at it heavily. I look at a lot of the things that I hold rather than just looking at random things. Like how can you believe that I believe in something if I'm not holding it? And I like a lot of things in the market, believe it or not. I have a lot of cryptocurrencies and I can't just throw um, thousands or tens of thousands of dollars into every position. I have to pick and choose what I throw majority of money into, and then still try and diversify into other things. Quant was just one of those that I missed. I saw a price, I missed that price, and if I decide to invest into it now, I'm just chasing it, even though it has the ability to grow a lot further than that, and I can have my mindset, long-term mindset, and still see the success. I just don't want to be stuck in a pattern of buying high and selling low, or buying a bunch of things high at the moment, because that's what I would do, right? I would buy one thing at a higher price than what I wanted, and then I'm willing to accept the next thing at a higher price than what I wanted. And now the waiting process for it to become positive, or be positive, is a lot longer. If you don't know, if you're investing into a play, there is a high chance that you will be negative before you become insanely positive. That you will question your investment, maybe every day or every week, that you hold it for a while until you do see that positivity. It's very difficult to invest at the bottom. So as long as you're investing close to it and you don't have too much negativity, you don't have to wait a very, very long time for it to break that. Because if Quant, where it currently stands, I think it's at like $80 or something. If Quant was to come back down to the price that I wanted to accept, which was $43, then I would be looking at 50% drop in my investment. And it's harder to hold on to those plays when things are at such a large drop. And you're like, I could just get out and put it into anything else. And then you start the train of buying high and selling low. So I like Quant. Don't get me wrong. Cass is dead. I don't think Cass is dead. I have Cass as well. I have about 30,000 of Cass. Quant has gone nowhere 4 years and it's going way, way lower. No. I mean, it's hit lows and people are still positive on those lows. If you bought at $43, you're still positive on your investment. It's just many people that may see it at, they saw it at 120 and then it got back down to 80. They bought at 120 or over $100 and they're looking at negativity, and that's what I mean by that, right? You're buying high and now you hold it for a long time or a longer time, um, while it's negative, and it's tough because it's going to break out. It will break out as we see altcoins perform, but um, right now we're really only seeing kind of major altcoins make those larger moves. Seeing Ethereum, get up to higher prices, not at the all-time high, but getting up to higher prices. XRP breaking above $1, above $2, above $3. BNB breaking above 1,000 to 1,300 or so. Solana as well, and then you start to get into others that really aren't experiencing the larger breakouts, right? The 100%, 400%, 500% gains. And those are the quants. Those are the farm coin. Those are the KRL. Those are the, um, you know, whatever, right? There's many positions that just haven't experienced those larger 100% or multiple 100% gains. But altcoin season will change that, where everything in the market is really running at a massive scale. This is the new technology. All your medical records will be on a card, and it's going to help with medical technology. Well, that sounds good, as long as obviously it could be secure and everything. It's called Junction. That sounds good. Sounds like good technology, as long as, again, there could be the larger security. I don't know why I typed in the wrong thing. um, Jensen is a centralized AI network partner with Jasmine Coin, focusing on providing computing power for AI workloads through its DePIN decentralized physical infrastructure network. uh, Jasmine Coin provides the data sovereignty and Internet of Things framework, while Jensen handles the decentralized processing, creating a symbiotic relationship where Jasmy Coins or Jasmy's L2 mainnet and Jensen's GPU network work together. Users who contribute to the Jensen network can be rewarded with JCT tokens and airdrop of Jasmy Coin. Yeah, we talked about that, Jensen. I mean, that sounds interesting. I think obviously we need to see kind of a test of that, how that works in the real world. But I mean, it sounds interesting. That's all you need. I mean, again, we will have things that are going to be massive use cases across the board for many cryptocurrencies, and having Jasmy in the place to where it can have the hype of a meme coin, but then have the utility of a top utility project can be massive. And I hope that it does take off to a way higher level. Um, I believe it will, but just hope for many others. And I hope that you guys see that as well. But yeah, that looks good. Synergy between Jasmy and Jensen. A complementary role. Jasmy provides the data infrastructure and personal data lockers, while Jensen provides the necessary computing power for applications that need to process that data. Ecosystem growth. The partnership allows for creation of a full stack decentralized solution for AI, from data handling or to computing. Incentive structure. Jensen Network rewarding contributors with JCT and Jasmy, potentially increasing demand for both tokens as the ecosystem grows. Um, it's also about finding ways to utilize, I mean, Jasmy and JCT. I know for um, getting rewards, that's always great to be able to see those rewards and see those you know contributions rewarded in a way. It's also about having a reason to hold Jasmy, because if you're rewarded in Jasmy and they're just selling it right away, it's not necessarily the biggest positive impact. But in a way of utilizing Jasmy, I think that could be bigger, right? Having Jasmy to utilize the Jasmy network and framework and everything there, I feel like that would be a bigger selling point and a bigger push to Jasmy's price than just rewarding people in that, right? If I gave someone, most times, like if you give somebody a car and they already have a car, like say if they won something on Price is Right, and they're just going to take the money, whatever's worth it, and then also pay the taxes at those times. Sometimes they might not, but they would just take the money for that car rather than taking the car itself. And that goes the same here, right? Where you would rather take the money because that's what you're used to, versus just taking the Jasmy or accepting the Jasmy or JCT. Does that make sense? uh, Swift and XCN, in my opinion, will go a lot lower. Doesn't seem like there any progress in both of these coins. Lack of news and investment is killing these coins. I hear you. I do like Swift coin though. I think that's going to have a lot more success. If it is going to go lower, it's going to create opportunities, because I think for me, I already took some profit in Swift coin. I always try and find a place to where I'm going to take profit, and 3 cents was that level. So I did take a little bit of profit, still have 500,000 Swift in my possession. I only put like $3,000 into it. I took like $4,000 worth of profit. So basically my initial investment plus a little bit. And then the rest just sat in there. Now I do expect to see that grow a lot more, but I hear you. A lack of news is when you don't have that news, or you don't have that popularity, and popularity can, or lack of popularity can kill a project heavily, right? You need to make sure that a project has the popularity there, whether it's by volume to market cap ratio, or it's by the actual news that's being put out there. Sometimes if they don't have news, they won't put it out there, but if people believe in it, you'll still see the volume. So for something like a Jasmine coin, right, you won't see much news that's happening that's out there. Many people that are talking about the things that they are doing, um, but you will see the volume that goes into it. And for whatever it has, you will still see a decent percentage of market cap volume that will go into that. So a lot of times it's like 10 to 30%. And I think right now it might be a little bit lower or it might be higher because of the way the markets are kind of functioning right now and how things are kind of dropping a little bit. um, but typically you see it around that, right? It's currently 7.8%. Of the market cap. So volume to market cap ratio is 7.8% while you're looking at a $411 million market cap, $32 million worth of volume. You still have the ability to buy it on Coinbase and Binance, right? So it's in two S tier exchanges, which I think S tier exchanges are huge. Once you start seeing the volume elsewhere or start seeing the volume even there, it picks up very, very fast because of those S tier exchanges. um, But yeah, I got what you're saying with Swift. I don't know where the price is for that. What's the Swift coin? So it's currently very close to my original cost basis. But again, I've already taken profit from it. I could re-enter this and put those coins back in there because I sold. I forgot how much I got from it. Like I said, I think it was 4,000. If I put $4,000 in there now, I would be able to get. Sorry. I would be able to get basically another 500,000 and have a million Swift coin. See, there's just so many opportunities, man. There's so many opportunities. I just bought Jasmine now. Um, am I in for regrets? I don't believe you are. I think Jasmine at an 80% of a penny price point is fantastic. Did SHIB lose popularity? It is done. I think SHIB did lose a lot of popularity. I think it still has holders though, people that want to believe in it, but there's many people that are like me that are holding it on the side that have some SHIB left or have a decent amount of SHIB left. It's just not as much as they did have. Right? I had I think it was 300,000 or 300 million. And I was trying to close in on 1 billion SHIB, but then or no, I had a total of I think 500 million, but I ended up burning off 200 million of my own. A total of like close to a billion SHIB that I burned, something like that. Whatever the number is, but I burned a lot of SHIB, and I currently have about 100 million SHIB. So I think there's a lot of people that are sitting with about, maybe 10 to 20% of what their original SHIB volume is or SHIB amount was, and you're just not seeing as much popularity because there's many people in the community that now have to change their mindset. While we believe that burning was the way and that we were going to see the ecosystem dev team support burning in such a big way, and Bone and Leash and the metaverse and all of those things were going to burn SHIB in such a huge way, they never contributed to that or wanted to contribute to that, and they only cared about themselves. So that was a big issue that really did kill a lot of the popularity, a lot of the belief in Shiba Inu. um, Great opportunity to accumulate ZBCN. I mean, maybe. I don't know what that is. I mean, I probably do, but I don't remember. Keep buying Jasmine and hold. I truly believe it will go up to a minimum of $1. I agree with you. I believe that as well. um, Let me quick see my investment here. I should be logged in. I guess it's gonna log me out. That's what you're gonna do, bro. That's what you gonna do. So yeah, let's see. OKB. It looks like my Lunic investment did drop out. Jasmine is down a significant amount. Maybe I should double down with that. Let me go to my account here. No, I don't want to withdraw. I want to transfer from my wallet to futures account, from not the other way around. All right, so I'm going to take USDT. I think I'm going to take about 500 maybe. And we'll go to futures trading, and we will find, where's it at? There it is. We will find Lunic. I think I'm going to do this. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. We're going to see how that works out. It should be about a 5x leverage at about $200. Long, and then we're going to add a stop loss within it. 5x leverage will be a 20%. So if it drops down to 0.000025, then I lose my $200 that I put in there. Confirm. And obviously, if it gets to higher prices, like if it gets back to the all-time high, let me go back. If it gets back to the all-time high for Terra Luna Classic, which is 0.0006, I gained $17,700 off of my $200 investment. That's only if it gets there and if I hold it to that long. But even if it just gets to 0.0001, oh sorry, that's a lower price. Just 0.0001 here, that would be $2,000. So it would be basically 10xing that investment that I've put in there, which is good. It only needs to get back to 0.0001 instead of 0.0006. But it could also not only get to that point, but also drop another zero or two zeros, right? If it gets to there, which is the second drop zero, which would be a $5 billion market cap, which is not unheard of, I don't believe, for Terra Luna Classic. But getting to a $50 billion market cap would be 1 cent, and that would be a $300,000 price point. So, but again, I don't know if I'll let it get to that point, even if, like, I feel like this would be the first thing that I decide to let go. Others, which would be my main Lunic position, I wouldn't decide to really let it go. I would let it go later because of this investment. So as we do get to maybe 1 0 that it's dropped, now that's $30,000. I can take that for sure. But also, it's tough because the market tends to continue to fluctuate. So that's one investment there. I think that's good because I got Jasmine, Atom, OKB, and then I got Lunic. What's my stop loss on OKB? $78. My stop loss on Atom is $1.70. Where's it currently standing? It's currently at $2.84. I don't expect that to come down that low, but anyways, that could happen. You never know. And then my stop loss on Lunic is 60% of a penny. Matt getting his epic. I'm not. I don't really plan on buying anything new. What I'm doing now is kind of leverage trading, which is sort of buying, but doing it at a little bit more of an aggressive pace without risking too much. I bought Jasmine instead of buying more Bonk. Did I make the right choice? I mean, I think Jasmine is more of a utility coin than Bonk for sure, so I think that's the right choice. Jasmine is 70 cents. It's all over, guys. Stop dreaming. We all got screwed. I don't agree with that. If you think that, then you have a short-term mindset and you've only been thinking about what is right in front of your face. Guys, we have 63 people here. We do have 75 likes. I greatly appreciate everybody that has hit the like button. If you haven't hit the like button yet, though, I know that it seems like everybody did, but if you haven't hit the like button, please do so. I would like to get to 100 likes before the end of this live stream, which I don't know when that will be. It might be 12 o'clock. It might be 12 o'clock p.m. We might be here for 12 hours or 13 hours or 14 hours, I guess. Let's see what the biggest news in crypto is right now. I like to use AI for this because it always tells you maybe what's happening, anything brand new, usually. But the biggest crypto news currently revolves around significant market downturn, with Bitcoin falling below 95,000 amid heavy institutional selling from US spot ETFs. This price, and this is what I mean, right? US spot ETFs, you're investing into the individual position. You're not investing into the broader market. This creates more selling than what you would see if somebody was investing into multiple cryptos. If you're investing into one cryptocurrency, as people start to see that drop, they're like, no, I don't want to be involved in that. I want to get into my ETF that I wanted to hold, the SPY, right? TDIV, whatever it is. But yeah, that's usually the institutional side of it. It's a way to kind of push retail investors out. They have control over it because there's so much money that flows into Bitcoin at one time. There's so much money that flows out of Bitcoin at one time. If they have an easy way to invest during the market open, they have an easy way to invest into the crypto market or move the crypto market, they could do that with money. With anything that you do, money can control a market. Most people say, oh, I don't want institutional volume and I don't want the government to be involved. No matter what, you're going to see big money. You're going to see institutions. You're going to see banks. You're going to see everybody with a lot of money be involved to control the market. And if they can find a way to control the market, they will shake all retail investors, all retail holders out. And this is what they're doing with ETFs. It really does shake out the leverage trading investors. If you're investing at a 50x leverage, you have to make sure it's a lot more short term than you wanted it to be. You cannot hold a 50x leverage for 5 months anymore. You can't hold a 50x leverage for 10 months or a year anymore. You can hold a 50x leverage for maybe a day, and you could possibly push it into a week. But it's always a shakeout of those higher leverage traders because that's where many people are making a ton of money, and they're realizing that. So the way that they shake out the market is if they go like this. Bitcoin's at $100,000, right? And the ETFs, the flow of ETFs control 20% of Bitcoin. If they decided to just take a large portion of Bitcoin and sell it, if you put in an investment at maybe $95,000, you're like, oh, you know what? It's not getting back down to this low price. And you do a 50x leverage, or let's just say, yeah, let's do that, right? You do a 50x leverage, meaning that if it drops by about 1%, you lose everything that you've invested into it. So now it gets up to $100,000. If they wanted to shake people out, they could. So all they have to do is shake you out by selling whatever they need to sell or getting out, having a bunch of outflows. Now it brings it down to a $95,000 price point or 94, shaking you out and shaking everybody else out that also leverage traded because they believed it wasn't going to get past or drop below $95,000. They do control it in a large way, and it's going to happen. We can't fight it, right? If you have use cases in the world, in the economy, you're going to have banks, you're going to have big businesses, you're going to have institutional volume, you're going to have just greedy people that believe that they can take from you and the next person. And that's where, if you're going to do a 50x leverage, if you're going to do a 100x leverage, 500x leverage, make sure that you are doing it short term, making that money, getting out of the play, right? If you're doing a longer term leverage, 2x leverage, 3x leverage, there's a low probability of you getting shaken out. However, those things can still happen. So you have to kind of protect yourself in the best way possible. And right now, I don't know how that is because I've been shaken out of place. I've been shaken out of my entire leverage trading portfolio that was up by $6,000. And all of a sudden, everything comes crashing down to crazy low prices that we didn't expect to happen because it was liquidation after liquidation after liquidation, which created a price where it was at this price and then boom, all the way down to the bottom. There was no in between, no in between at all. I saw it and I was like, this doesn't make sense. I should have been pulled out at these prices. I should be still profitable as I'm pulled out. However, it was like, this is the low price here. Skip to everybody's liquidated. That's how that goes. And I was just like, and it wasn't even about liquidations. It was about like you had the liquidations, but since it skipped such a it's like whatever your selling point was, since it skipped it, now you have to sell at that position at an even lower price than your stop loss, meaning that you owed money to do that. So it was definitely an interesting situation. It was definitely a shakeout. Yeah, I agree. This is wild. After they liquidated the longs, I've liquidated. I've been liquidated twice. Luckily, it wasn't huge. Yeah, I mean that's the tough. Getting liquidated is really really tough because it does teach you things in a way because you lose the money. You understand setting your stop losses a little bit more. Um, Not force liquidation in any way. But this last thing I've never seen before, and I didn't think I would ever see, is the fact that you didn't just see, like, you know how you see a drop and you see it, keep dropping. These positions, like everything that had billions or even trillions of dollars of a market cap, like we're talking about a lot of money. And all of a sudden, they go from, let's say, $100,000 cut to 90,000. It's like, what? Where's the in between? That's a trillion, multiple $1 trillion cryptocurrency, and you're telling me it had a cut to in that $1 trillion cryptocurrency? I can understand, penny stocks that are worth maybe $1 million for a business or $10 million for a business to cut to whatever the price is. But to see something worth multiple billions, tens, hundreds of billions of dollars, or even trillions of dollars cut to a lower price than anybody has seen before or in a long time, it made no sense whatsoever. Um, because we're talking about people that got liquidated hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars in positions that never thought that would even be the case because they had stop loss set up where they may have lost hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands, but there's no way that they were going to lose all of their money because they had those stop loss set up. But the stop losses were never hit because cut to, you're liquidated. That's how that worked. It made no sense whatsoever, but it happened to many people. And I still don't fully get it, but now I'm kind of putting the two and two together, and it's the control over these ETFs, right? The ETFs are and the institutions are looking to liquidate as many people as possible, as many retail traders as possible, so that we don't turn this into a life, right? If we turn this into our life of investing, of not directly working for these companies, it's something that affects those companies, especially since they're not ready for everything to be robotic and AI and completely computerized, right? They're not fully ready for it. But if we're like, oh, you know what? I quit working at Amazon. I don't need to work at Amazon. Well, you still need bodies for these things. You still need bodies to manage whatever computer systems you do have, right? Minds to manage those as well. But if they're not ready for you to leave, they're going to make sure that you come back. And this is one way. So I don't ever, if I'm going to leverage trade, I don't ever throw a lot in there. I know of people that um, lost out on hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars invest. Like they made, and it wasn't that they invested $100,000 into it. Like they grew their accounts to hundreds of thousands of dollars over time as the market started to run, as Bitcoin ran, Solana ran, XRP, all of those things. And they lost it all in an instant because of this situation that happened. I only lost 5,500 and then continued to invest with the 500 that I had left in there to now grow it to 800. Um, but still, like, it's a significant part of your portfolio, if not all of your portfolio. Who was the guy that said 99% of us were going to be wiped out? Was it um, that rich dad, poor dad guy? I mean, there are many people that invest traditionally that say anybody that invests in the cryptocurrency is dumb and they think it's crap. You know, like Dave Ramsey thinks crypto is crap, no matter how much people have gained from it. There have been people that came on there were like, I turned $100,000 into $10 million, and he was like, great. How much Bitcoin do you have left? And he was like, half of it. I have $5 million in traditional investments, and I have $5 million um, sitting in uh, sitting in cryptocurrency or whatever. He was like sitting back in Bitcoin. And he was like, well, if I were you, I would sell like the 5 million or whatever. He was like, I think that's crazy. If people come on there and they're like saying their success story and telling you that they have had success in Bitcoin, and you're telling them, oh well, you know what, Bitcoin's still crap and I don't believe in it. They've had their success. They've shown you that it's successful, and now they're putting it in diversifying. I believe in it. I know you do. You just want to stick with your stance, and you want to stand 10 toes down, right? I don't think. I don't know. I feel like it's always great to stand on business, but when you're wrong, you're wrong. Just say it. You've had success, right? They've sold it and they made their success. They have money, clearly. Um, Explain the throat clearing every minute. It sounds disgusting over the mic. Well, I apologize. I don't know. I wake up with a fan on, I guess, and that's how that goes. And also, I'm constantly talking. I don't stop talking. I also don't drink enough water. There's a lot of issues with it. I mean, you don't have to be here. I apologize for that. Um, but you don't have to be here if you don't want to listen to it. Drink more water. I try to. Like, this is the water that I just opened, literally has like 2, 3 sips out of it. And then sometimes when I drink water, it's like, I don't know, it may irritate it a little bit. Yeah, see, and then I want to cough after I drink water because it was so dry. No, it's not. Bankruptcy is Dave Ramsey's success story. It might be very true. But you look at a lot of the success, there's so much or so many people that have had success because of the time that they've started doing what they were doing. And usually it's about timing. If you've made a lot of money from Bitcoin, it was about timing for you. It wasn't about like, oh, I invested now and I made the right moves and I made a ton of investments and it's at $1 million or whatever. Um, but it's more about like you invested when Bitcoin really first got started, like you were mining Bitcoin. You invested in Bitcoin at $17,000. It was about timing. XRP, it's about timing, right? Um, Real estate, it's about timing, right? If you were investing in the real estate when um, prices and interest rates were insanely low, you have a huge leg up over anybody that's looking to get a house now. They're looking to introduce 50-year mortgages. It's crazy. If it's 50-year mortgages, it should be a much lower interest rate. We're talking about like 2%, maybe even less than that. 50-year mortgage. You're going to be paying, instead of paying 400, like if you owned a $400,000 house by the end of um, a mortgage, a regular 30-year mortgage, you might end up paying the house of the price of the house in interest as well as paying off the house. So you might pay like $800,000 total or something. If you had a 50-year mortgage and the same like interest rate over that time, you would end up paying double that. So double the price of the house in just interest while also paying off the house. Like it's insane that you think that that is the option. So, sorry, you're just gonna have to deal with me coughing. If you can't deal with me coughing, you really don't have to be here. That's how that goes. Sometimes I don't, but I constantly will talk. Like if I talk less, then I probably will end up coughing or clearing my throat a lot less. But I do talk a lot, and I don't really like there be to be a lot of dead air. It's just how that goes. But yeah, one day we won't have that. Here's a cough drop. Let's take one of these to see if that works. But then I have the sound of me having a cough drop in my mouth. I used to drink some tea only when I'm sick or have like some sort of sore throat or something. That's when I will take that tea. Um, so let's see. Bitcoin's price drop. Bitcoin has fallen below the key $95,000 support level, reaching multi-month lows not seen since May. This has triggered extreme fear sentiment in the market and forced short-term holders into a loss position. Guys, we're almost at a hundred likes, not 100,000 likes. 100 likes. If you can hit that like button, I would greatly appreciate it. Massive ETF outflows. U.S. spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds experienced their fourth largest weekly outflow on record, totaling $1.1 billion. This marks the third consecutive week of outflows, indicating a weakening of institutional demand and significant rotation of capital. Michael Saylor's strategy. Despite the market dip, Michael Saylor's firm strategy continues to buy Bitcoin, adding $835 million worth of Bitcoin to its holdings last week. Solana defies trend, while other major cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, ETH face outflows. Solana ETFs have seen 13 consecutive days of inflows. In contrasting trend that in the current market, which is crazy because I think Solana is down more than a lot of other things in the market. Yeah, Solana is down by 17%. So that's kind of crazy to say that that was the case. Regulatory policies. Singapore Exchange Derivatives, SGX Derivatives arm, announced it will launch perpetual futures for both Bitcoin and Ether, expanding institutional access to crypto derivatives trading. Japan's regulatory shift. Japan's financial services agency is considering reclassifying crypto assets as financial products, which would subject them to insider trading rules and potentially lower tax rates on profits. It doesn't affect us. Criminal fin- criminal finance exposed. Investigative journalism group ICIJ released a report detailing how criminal organizations, including drug cartels and human traffickers, um, use the crypto system for money laundering, highlighting ongoing regulatory challenges. So yeah, that's some things that are happening in crypto right now. Also dumping, bro. Just call. No, we're actually good. The clearing of the throat is the best thing that I can do. Coughing doesn't actually help. Clearing the throat actually helps a lot better. Let's stop talking about that. Let's just leave it go. I got a cough drop in my mouth. Not working that well. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. We're all just gonna deal with it. Like Corbin Blue would say, deal with it. I ain't telling you no lies. Just deal with it. I don't know the rest of the song. So what's trending right now? 24 hours. The heck is that? It's up by 18,000%. This is looking at the top 200 coins. Is it looking at the top two? Or no, it's looking at all of them. Is it all of them? What's the market cap? So, yeah, that's definitely things that are dropping by the most, things that are dropping by the least, and things that are the highest by market cap. See, if I go think, I want to look at what's. Let me go back here. Most visited, and we'll go back to trending. Aster is trending. It's at $1.23, up by 1.7% at a $2.9 billion market cap with $1 billion worth of volume. Age is only 6 months old. XRP, Avalon Labs, $28 million market cap with $139 million worth of volume. That's very interesting. See that difference there. There's a caution assigned for some reason. The security scan gave us a caution rather than being safe.
Brandon White donated $4.99 through Super Chat. Thanks for the show, Matt. Everyone don't get nervous and sell at a loss. That is what they want you to do.
You know, that's very true. First, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that, Brandon White. I agree with you. They, you know, they want everybody to sell, all retail traders to sell, to not believe in crypto, and then eventually see the growth and then kind of chase. If we're stuck chasing, we're always losing. If we are the people that believe in a market and hold on to it, this is where we see that success. If you were a part of, let's say, Amazon or Tesla in the beginning and just held on to their stock, as many of the institutions wanted to short it and didn't believe in the value of Tesla, and even if they did, they didn't want retail traders to be at the forefront of that, to make the most money out of it. They never want us to succeed. They want us to lose all the time. If we always think that it's player versus player, like it's me versus you or me versus the next person, but no, it's always us versus the financial institutions, right? The hedge funds. It's always us against them and how much money they have flowing in, because the money they have flowing in or flowing out can affect any position in the stock market and the crypto market. It can affect it in such a large way that our money together is the only way that really impacts or fights what they're doing. Our money alone, right? If I'm buying and they're selling, they're going to end up winning that battle, right? However, if we're all buying and they're selling, there's a chance that we can win that battle, right? Thank you for that, though. I do appreciate that a lot, Brandon. Could you warn us right before golfing? No, I can't. It's just going to happen. What price do you think Jasmine can reach by the end of the year? So my hope is around 10 to 20 cents. That's what I'm looking for. As long as we do see green, as long as we start seeing that movement in the market rather than this extreme fear that we're seeing. As people start buying during this fear, that's what we want to see. We have about a month and a half to experience those levels of a breakout. That would be a 10x for Jasmine coin to a level of 10 cents. I still want to see that level. And we know that this can happen very, very quickly. But the further that we get to December and to the end of the year, obviously, the less likelihood that those things are going to happen. Um, Usually, the fourth quarter is insanely bullish, just like, October was supposed to be insanely bullish, but anything could happen and we could see the exact opposite. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't have patience or shouldn't believe in it as we move along, but that's totally up to you, right? That's your investment, what you want to believe in. How much Bitcoin will go down? How much do I believe Bitcoin will drop? Um, let's see if we can go into Bitcoin here. I think a significant level was 95, so I'm surprised it didn't drop even lower than that. If I was looking at the rest of it, just looking for support levels, I think 90,000 is definitely a strong point. Um, we don't really have much. We have a couple of resistance and support levels at that 90,000 mark. But then as we get to a real low, the lowest point that I would expect to see a double bottom would be around 75. I don't expect it to get that low. That's crazy, and that means that a lot of other things would drop really, really far. But if it does, that would create extreme fear. Even though it says it's in extreme fear, we would be talking about one on the index for fear and greed, because that would bring everything else low as well. Seeing Bitcoin down to 75,000, seeing Ethereum down to, maybe 2,000 or sub 2,000, seeing XRP back down to about a dollar 50 or something. Like, those levels would be insane to get to and see that double bottom scenario. But I think 90,000 is kind of our next level to push through. And if it does, then we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens then. But again, I'm not fearful, right? I'm very, very greedy in this moment. And I don't have a lot of money to throw at it, because I usually put my money into my long-term investments. Um, and I don't want to take those out of there, right? I want to keep them in there. But um, it would also be great if we didn't see this breakout at the end of the year. I've been kind of pushing for us to not see any type of major breakout for everything, because if we do, and XRP gets to $5, it's an XRP gets to $5, Jasmine Coin gets to 10 cents, then I'm looking at taking profit on some of those plays, meaning that I have to pay taxes on those. So I would rather pay taxes in the new year when I take profit then, rather than and have it go the full year to pay those taxes, versus taking the 250,000, 300,000, whatever, however much it is, and then paying taxes on that money from there. I'd rather have that. Good thing is, in the next 5 days, I reach where all of the XRP that I bought is now at a long term. So no matter what, it'll be taxed at that 20, 22% or 20% level, meaning that I won't have to pay an extreme amount in taxes on that money in the next 5 days. So even if it does go to $5 in December and I decide to take some profit, I know I won't be paying the max tax that I would pay for short term. It would be long term. So that's good. I need that $100 mark for XRP. I would love to see that as well. $5 is low. I think it is. I think it is low, but I always like to take profit when I see it's the best time to do so. My cost basis is around $1 or so. So taking profit at about $5 is a 500% increase from there. So meaning that I can take a piece of that and still have a significant amount left on the table. I don't have to take half of it. I can take a quarter of what I have for the overall amount, and then take my initial investment and be happy with that. but then still have a lot left on the table. 75% of my overall investment will be still left on the table. Investors are not worried, but traders should be worried. $5 is low. I agree. That's my first point. My first selling point, my first exit strategy, price level. Do you believe XRP will replace Swift, or do you think real token will take over the real estate market? Do I think XRP will replace Swift, or do I think real token will take? What's real token? So this is the thing. I don't really like when we talk about like replacements. I know I've done that when I say like XRP is going to replace the US dollar, which is always a great conversation. Um, but nothing's ever going to be fully replaced. If something can be adopted, or you take that market share, you can take that market share. However, um, both will still exist, right? The dollar will exist, XRP will exist, Swift will exist. You'll see that the process in which they do things will exist. It's just whether they're strong enough to survive, you know, over time. So, do I think it will replace it? No. Do I think it can manage or take over market share? Then most likely. For XRP, I don't think it will take over the market share of the US dollar as we see it implemented in banks, as we see it implemented for cross border payments. Um, I just think it will have a big impact on being able to actually have a use case, whether it will be 90% or it'll be 20% of, those sectors or those markets. It's still going to have an impact, and that's what matters. And I think people will start moving to a place that does benefit them in the long run, right? If it's going to be cheaper, if it's going to be, if you're going to be waiving bank fees and all these things, it just makes sense to kind of go that route. And if it starts to make sense to people, they're going to start doing it. We're having a conversation. Who's Daniel B? This clown says the same thing every day. Up, 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 moon, 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 tomorrow. Shut the fuck up. You have nothing new to say, man. Well, damn. I do have a lot new to say. But as we talk about things, how are my feelings with certain things? Yeah, it may be some of the same things. I don't fully disagree with you, but do you know that there are new people that come into a live stream every day? There's a new person that watches a video every day. So um, definitely not the nicest way to talk to somebody. It doesn't hurt me one bit. I couldn't give a shit about what you say. I couldn't care less who you are and what you do for a living and what you're even saying. Um, just gonna comment on that, and you can go on about your day of how your life is going, however that is, whether it's miserable or you're having a good life. I would definitely put money on it that it's probably miserable by the way that you're speaking. But whatever. It's fine. I'm gonna go on to be just a-okay. I'll tell you that. Um but yeah, don't have a listen. God bless you on your journey. And I mean, the traders that only trade for quick profits are not invested for the long term. Yeah, I would agree with that. Well, yeah, traders that invest for quick profits, they only see what's in front of them. Um, and sometimes as a trader, a lot of times as a trader, if you hit a loss target or a stop loss, it doesn't mean that has to be your entire investment. It could be 20%. You're going to sell that position and you're going to hit that stop loss very, very quickly, in these type of speculative markets or in consistent markets. $3.50 is my level. Well, it already hit $3. Oh, that's your level of where you bought, or that's the level of where you want to sell. Thanks a bunch for the stream, Matt. My battery's about to die. Well, I appreciate you being here, Mad Cat Meow. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Um, where was I at? Real Token is planning on taking the real estate market and going digital mortgage, and rent will become digital. I think maybe that ends up becoming the way, right? I know it's tough though, because there will always be a side where people really only understand the flow of the dollar and understand banking, and they will get these loans through banks, and maybe they'll even get loans through banks as you're dealing with cryptocurrency. And um, like I don't know. I feel like that it's a good idea to flow through it. I feel like I've always mentioned that um, Ethereum could be that. Honestly, any cryptocurrency that we see that has a decent transaction time. It doesn't have to be instantaneous where people are getting it immediately. It could be within days, but something that has the ability to hold value, um, that is easily transferable and all of that. Like I feel like you could see crypto take over the real estate market because of how easy it is to transfer back and forth, especially if you're talking about like with cash. Cash can be very difficult to transfer, especially when it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars. For cryptocurrency, it could be literally like that, like snap a finger, boom, it's gone, right, from your account into the next account. Um, so I don't know about Real Token, but it does sound interesting. I'll have to. Where does it stand market cap wise? Um, what's going on with this dump? Why is the market going down? Honestly, I don't have a breakdown as to why the market's going down. From what I understand, it's outflows of ETFs. So, Bitcoin ETFs, the outflows there. Ethereum ETFs, the outflows there. Apparently, there's inflows of Solana, but Solana is also dropping, so doesn't make sense. But there's a decent amount of outflows of the institutional side of crypto. I missed the last time because I got greedy talking about $3.50. Okay, so you want to sell at $3.50. That is your level. I think that's a reasonable level. I know a lot of people where their level is the all-time high and they didn't sell at the $3.50 mark for their first exit plan because their first um, selling point was the all-time high. And a lot of times cryptocurrency will resist from major resistance places. So while you think, like, for instance, Dogecoin, the talk of the town was getting to $1. It got up to about 76 cents, and it started to resist from there because people believing that they're getting so close to $1 that people were going to start selling. And that's what they did, right? You saw a large number of people that were like, look, I'm getting out of this. I made a lot of money. I'm getting out. And then it just continued. And there was a huge train of people that were selling, dropped all the way down to insanely low levels. And that's how that goes. Same thing goes for Solana. When Solana first got up to about $90, it was close to $100. Ended up selling off from $90 down to like 70 or $65. Um, then it did increase back up to like 120 and 150 and 200 and all of that stuff. But you see those significant points, and people sell off before it reaches those levels. So that's something you saw with XRP. The all-time high is like 380 or 383 or something, 380 something. So getting to 165 or 170, or sorry, 370, um, was a point to where people were like, all right, it's getting too close. Let me sell that, right? But yeah, $3.50 is not a bad level. Are you looking to sell all of it, or what percentage? 50%, 25%? XRP to $1? Hey, if it does, I would love to see that because then hopefully I have money at the time. But the problem that I deal with though, I don't really want to buy anything new because if I'm looking to sell it, I don't want to pay those higher taxes, short-term capital gains tax versus the long-term. Good thing is whatever I buy, I would pay the capital gains tax on that, um, the short-term capital gains tax on that, and not all of it. But still, I don't want to pay, you know, 39% and then state and local taxes getting me up to like 40 plus percent on anything. I've not heard the market cap for real token. The only thing I've heard is the price prediction of $65,000. The share is not listed on crypto sites. That's not good. I would like to be able to track and see the information behind it if I was going to, uh, invest in something. Obviously, not just hear price predictions and then not know where it currently stands. They are also saying that the market cap real estate is 365 trillion. I mean, I understand the current market cap for real estate and the amount of properties and land and all that stuff that you have. But if they're actually going to take over the market share of real estate, I don't know how they would do that. Not necessarily just the market share of real estate, but the market share compared to like traditional cash and US banks and dollars and all that stuff. 50%, that covers a lot of ground. Okay, 50% covers a lot of ground. It covers your initial investment plus profit, or just your initial investment, or where does that stand? My elbow is hurting. It's like I have a yes profit. Okay, good. Then you'll have your initial investment, you'll have some profit. That's good, and then you'll have the rest that's in there to kind of see that through on whatever your exit plan is. It's a good strategy. Um, and even if you were looking to sell 100%, right? I'm all for people finding or having something on paper to say this is my plan, right? This is what I want to accept because um, there's many people out there that'll say, "Oh, you need a diamond hand." No, you don't need to just diamond hand. Whatever fits your life better. If you were to take, if you had I don't know, 100,000 and you're waiting for it to get to $300,000. That $300,000 would be able to get you 100,000 put aside or something. You would have to pay taxes on it. Let's say the other 100,000 that you have there, you would be able to um, pay off a car loan, pay off the rest of the mortgage or something, and have no debts. That's what it's all about, right? Getting your life to a point where you can now invest more money in places that you want because you have freedom, right? You don't have a car payment, you don't have credit card bills, you don't have a mortgage to pay. You only have what the basic um, payment would be for, or electric and gas and whatever else you have to pay. But you don't have to worry about any of the loans that many people have, right? The mortgage is a big one, right? Paying so much in interest, especially if you have a more recent mortgage where it's like 6%. Um, yeah, I couldn't do that. I would pay that off immediately. Like my mortgage, I still haven't paid off because it's only 3%. So I make more money in the markets. I mean, most of the cases, I make more money in the markets. Even if I only made 3% per year, I'm still making or breaking even there. Um, as I have the money to pay off my entire mortgage there, if that money sits there and gains 10% per year, I'll make more than what I paid, way more, like millions of dollars more than what I paid in interest for the house. And if something happens to me and I perish, I die, or somebody else, whatever the situation is, and Erica doesn't want to deal with that, she can sell the investments and pay off the house. And it's never something we have to worry about. However, would love her to keep it in there and just flow with how things are flowing, because even with it, I think she could still, uh, figure that out. Uh, I'm tired, man. So tired. Woke up a little bit late today. Um, the kids were they got on the bus and everything, but I was kind of rushing them through the morning. I set my alarm for uh 7 o'clock p.m., not a.m. And I've been, yeah, it's just been a mission. Typically I wake up super early, but I haven't been doing that lately. I hate that credit scores. Like, I look at my credit score. I really hate that credit scores have things to where, like, if you don't have any new credit applications, like if you don't have anything that you're adding in and utilizing, not new, but utilizing, then you get a a bad score or a bad thing that's happening in that area. My credit score is just good at 750. It's saying that I have a new credit application that was 2 months old. What is that? Could that have been crypto.com? No, it was Gemini. That was the Gemini card. Ah, gotcha. Understood. All right, we got 46 people that are here. Thank you guys for hitting the like button and doing all that you do. Um, just being here and commenting, I do appreciate it. It does mean the world to me that you guys are here. And obviously, we'll talk through many things that are happening. But right now, the market is very red. While it was a little bit green at some point in the day, it's very red. Bitcoin down by 1%. Let me go ahead and just go to top cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin down by 1% today. Ethereum is slightly up by 0.5%. XRP is also slightly up at 0.7%. BNB is down by 0.77%. But in the last hour, things have dropped a lot more. You can see Bitcoin 1% down, Ethereum 2% down, XRP 2.2% down, Solana 2.7% down. So things are not looking great for the last hour. Reaction as the market is open and everything there. Maybe we'll see a different reaction post lunch. Maybe. My headphones are not working. Can you reply to me in chat how are you? No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to reply to you in chat, but I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. Cannot complain. Would love to see all my like I always feel a lot better when cryptocurrency is like thriving, when you could see, you know, many of your top cryptos that are pushing by, 10, 20, 30, 50, 100%. Like it just makes you feel a lot better. I don't feel horrible that things are not moving in an aggressive manner, but I just want to see the positivity. Like I want to see continued positivity, whether it's in the stock market or crypto market or whatever I'm doing. I just want to see that continued positivity, something that makes me feel good about what I'm doing, you know? Like when you type in XRP news, I wish we had think more things that were happening, because anytime you type in XRP news, there's just a bunch of articles on um, in a recovery of a 25% drop, or what the price prediction could be, or can it consolidate? Um, XRP's price consolidates above $2, and you know, always talking about the prices rather than the things that are being done for XRP. Big money exits. XRP is just the first US ETF goes live. XRP stands out with 89% gain as BTC, Ethereum, that was 6 hours ago, ETH, and CD12 fall to muted returns over 365 days. I'm guessing that's what it says. XRP is not a bank coin. It has zero real value and never will. That's what somebody's saying in a Reddit. That's interesting. Everyone keeps hyping XRP. This is 21 hours ago. Let's see what they're saying here. Everyone keeps hyping XRP like it is some essential banking token, but it's not true. RippleNet, the network, might be used by banks for messaging and liquidity. XRP itself is completely optional, and banks do not need it at all. Even if every bank in the world started using RippleNet tomorrow, XRP would still be useless. Its price exits or exists only because people speculate, not because it actually solves a problem. XRP has no intrinsic value, never will, and never did and never will. The token is not necessary for payments, for banking, and mostly hype wrapped in shiny package. So that's not true, right? When you understand XRP overall, utilizing XRP, or understanding Ripple created XRP. What do they want most out of having Ripple or having their payment option? To utilize what they own and what they use, right? So the best case scenario would always be to fall back on XRP as the best value, or the best use case for Ripple's payment option, right? So while it isn't necessary to do so, it's going to be the best option for them to have. And having that best option means that they're going to try and take the cheapest route, the most effective route, something that's going to give them the most security within there and the most belief, right? So while it isn't, again, 100% that it has to be used, it's still something that has a major part in what they can do if every single bank adopted RippleNet. It's something that this has the most value and the most reason to use it. You don't have to, but if you do, you get the benefits from it. It's just like if I don't know, I'm trying to think of how I can compare it for use. Um, I don't know. It's like I don't know if I drink spring water, or if I drink water that is from a river and it's boiled, right? Um, you might end up knowing, right? I'm drinking spring water. I know that this has no bacteria, no issues that are in it, right? But then the boiled water, you have more benefits drinking this water than you do with the boiled water. Does that make sense? You boil it and you get all the bacteria. You believe you get all the bacteria out. It's not 100% that you are, um, but you're killing most of the bacteria. Here, you know that all the bacteria is gone unless the water bottle was sitting around and it says it has no BPA's. So that's interesting. But the point is that you're getting benefits from one side. You don't have to drink that. You don't have to do that, but it would be more beneficial if you did. That makes sense? You're describing the whole crypto market. Exactly. The value of anything in this world is what people want to believe its value is. That's literally everything. Literally everything. Absolutely everything. It could be any business. It's the value of what people believe that business is going to be based on the products that they are selling. And the products that they are selling is based on what people believe that they're going to pay for that price. And if they don't pay that price, that business goes under, right? If you're talking about something that doesn't have to depend on a product to be sold, and they believe in that price and they show you that belief by investing into it and believing in it and using it, that's exactly how everything in the market runs, or everything, not in the crypto market, but everything in the world. runs. It's exactly how that goes. It always drives me crazy when people are just like, you know what? It's only based on what value people want to pay for it. Isn't that everything? Like, I don't understand. This phone, it's only based on the value that people want to pay for it. If they started charging $7,000 for this phone, which may be the case when, you know, decades from now, I don't know, but maybe they start charging $7,000 for this phone, people will not want to pay for it. And guess what? This phone won't exist anymore. The company might not exist anymore, and they would definitely have to rethink how they do things. It's all depending on what people want to pay for it. And the business has its value based on the products that they offer of what people want to pay for it. And also the investors and what they want to invest into the business, if what they want to pay for it. Facebook doesn't exist without the angel investors that they have, right? That's how the world works. All of it. I hate when people say that. Like, it's only based on what they want to pay. Like, shut up. Like, really, I don't understand. And people believe crypto is valuable because they believe someone will pay more, for it later, um, on that they paid to buy it. Whereas people believe fiat money is valuable because their entire economy that uses it on the daily to trade for goods and services, not because that fiat currency actually has value behind it, just because everyone's using it. They're adopting more of like, well, everybody's doing it. Like when someone's like, I I smoke cigarettes or something. They're like, oh, I only do it. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's drinking at this party, so I might as well do it as well. Like that's kind of the mindset that they're adopting there. Um, we'll call it eBay. And some folks got hard on hate for XRP. Replace Ripple with any other coin in your statement. What? Replace Ripple with any VC backed coin in your statement. What are you talking about? People hate one coin because their whole bet slash bag is in some other one. That is 100% true. The dildo project or profit is that profit? Okay, still horrible name, I guess. Um, but that's very very true. Like many people hate on XRP because they have Ethereum or they have Solana and they're like, I believe Solana is going to be the next best thing. And Solana is worth a $100 billion market cap. And many people said that XRP would never pass Solana, would never pass BNB, would honestly never be worth anything. Those people that hated XRP. However, XRP runs to higher levels, and now people have a new reason to hate it. And they just continue to try and talk it down and get people off that bandwagon and onto their bandwagon. What do they believe in? Right? Do they believe in traditional investing? Right? Invest into ETFs. That helps them out as well. Invest into Solana. Invest into BNB. Invest into Bitcoin or Ethereum. Because I believe that XRP will pass Ethereum, will be worth more than Bitcoin in the end. Because Bitcoin does not have a use case, it just has a hold case. Um, Ethereum, I would say, is in the same picture, right? I can't say it doesn't have a use case, but it's not what we wanted as the major use case of the main cryptocurrency in the market, right? Before we thought Bitcoin was going to be utilized heavily for just person to person transactions, peer to peer, bank to bank, business to bank, whatever it is, right? We expected to see those transactions, everyday transactions, flow through Bitcoin. However, couldn't, right? Not efficient enough, too slow, too costly. Now you see XRP that really fits that mold. And that's why it makes sense to kind of go that route, as well as being able to see it on a country to country standpoint, by looking at different banks and the communication there. Imports, exports, all of those things, it just makes sense. It's fast, it's efficient, it's safe, it's secure, it's cheap, it's all of those things. Um, isn't using XRP for gas fees incremental to RippleNet? So XRP overall has an effect in the transactions that happen. Um, XRP is used as gas and secures the transaction via cost-based deterrence for any transaction on the XRPL. This has been confirmed by the CTO. ROUSD taking off is a boon for XRP, even if the network of choice for transaction remains split between ETH mainnet and Ripple XRPL, around 80 to 90 slash 10 to 20. That's still billions of dollars of volume for XRPL, leaving XRP as gas. There's also XRP being removed from circulating supply to create trust lines for XRPL on XRPL, or sorry, for RLUSD. Jeez. Um, on XRPL, liquidity pools, etc. Legitimate flywheel utility, organic upward price pressure. A lot of people are concerning themselves with XRP losing grip on the cross-border payments narrative, but it's more of a change of mechanism. It's still facilitating the transactions, but not as the currency of choice. Not financial advice, but in my opinion, the cryptos to watch closely are cryptos whose native chain is used to transact stablecoins in such a way that said cryptocurrency is required as gas. I own XRP, but love these hate threads. Bear market classic. LOL, what ultimate dog shit token did OP? Or did OP buy? So that's probably the person. Hating on XRP won't make your bags pump. That's very true. Very, very true. All right, I'm pretty much gonna get out of here. Let's see. 50%, yes, profit, right on. I am debt free and probably one of the oldest in here at 54. I mean, you never know. I know a lot of people that are older than 54. I mean, if you are, it's great one to see that older generations and older people will adopt something that's kind of new to them, right? Because even at my age, I'm 34. Even at my age, there are a lot of people that still won't accept uh, cryptocurrency, right? People that have always been kind of embedded in that traditionalist mindset to invest in ETFs and just call it a day. While you can make money, and that's fantastic to do that, um, being a part of these speculative markets, these markets that you know are going to be massive for decades to come, that's what gives you kind of generational wealth, kind of makes you be able to flow that wealth down to your children. You can make money in the markets. Let's say you did go the traditional route and invest whatever and make a million, 2 million, or $3 million to live off of in your retirement. Let's say you go from 60. That's when you decide to retire. Instead of 65, you retire a little bit early. And you live until 85. You had $3 million to kind of help you live that long and all that. Now, if you wanted to utilize all of it, you could go through that very, very quickly. If you decided to keep that invested and make a certain amount of money every year that you are living, which could have been 10%, $300,000, and you could live off of that, you could then have that $3 million that could flow down to the next generation. They end up using that for school, um, some cars, maybe the house that you're living in, maybe it wasn't paid off and you pay it off, and now they're down to maybe less than that. They're given that, so they still have to pay taxes on that, and now they only have maybe 400,000 left. They can still do something great with that, but do they have the education or do they have the mindset to do something great with that? Change would be the crypto market, right? Yes, you still invest traditionally, you still do it the way that you would do it, but you also put money into a market that you believe can be worth a lot more because of your research. Um, you end up making that $2 million, $3 million that's sitting over there. But this turns from 10,000 to 100 to a million to multiple millions of dollars. And you're sitting on an extra $5 million that you're sitting over here because you believed in that market throughout that time that you've been traditionally invested. Um, Especially if you make the right choice, the right long term choice. And now you have a total of, let's say, $10 million to then get you through all of this. This means that you could potentially make $1 million a year in extra in gains, off of whatever you're invested into. Let's say it's the SPY. You put all your money into the SPY, and you're making $1 million a year on that. You can live off $1 million a year and continue to just throw more money in there, or live off $100,000 a year and have $900,000 that's going back to the sum of that. And now you're looking at every year you're making another extra $100,000 per year. Like there's so much to that, so much that you can make, so much that you can gain from it. This is why I'm invested in XRP. This is why I'm invested into cryptocurrency. And that's also why I'm invested traditionally, to see that traditional route and the non-traditional route. Guys, I'm going to get out of here. Hit that like button. Wait, Sarah wants to invest in meme coins, but she has analysis paralysis. I think we have until January to see how this plays out. This market is done in the short term, in my opinion. I mean, everybody can have their own opinion. That's perfectly fine. I am not banking on this to happen immediately. I'm not banking on it to even be the altcoin season. I would love for it to be, but it doesn't mean that I'm impatient, right? And I think patience will get you so much more um, in the end, and it should be great. Should be great. But that's my opinion. That's what I'm looking at. I'm taking patience over just trying to time the market. Guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more of these videos. Also, make sure you check out some of the links down below for Twitter, for Patreon. Thank you for the people that are watching on Twitch, the people that are watching on X, and the people that are watching on YouTube. I appreciate you guys for taking the time out of your day to watch and hit the like button. We got 113 likes. I really, really appreciate that. Also, if you guys want to sign up for BTCC, feel free to use my link in the chat, use my link in the description. You get an extra 10% deposit bonus on first time deposits, and you can have extra bonuses up to $10,055 while also enjoying up to 40% lower trading fees. There's no VPN, no KYC required, and there's no giveaway right now. The giveaway just ended, so you don't get that, but there may be a giveaway in the future. But I believe they still have where you register and you receive 100 USDT in coupons issued the next business day. So feel free to check out my link down below for BTCC if you want to get signed up. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for watching again. And I'll catch you guys in the next video, the next live stream, whatever the next thing we're doing is. See ya.